And welcome to the We Like Sportz show. I'm your host, Ed in Columbus, with my guy, CJ in Cleveland. What is up, CJ?
You know, it's a good day. It's not that's not that bad of a Black Monday. We'll see what happens with some of these coaches. I want to see some more people get fired.
Now, I have a question for you, and it's behooved me all weekend, and I'm wondering, are they cockroaches? The Pittsburgh Steelers are in the playoffs. What the hell happened, CJ?
They're starting to feel like cockroaches. Like it's death, taxes, and Mike Tomlin turning into freaking Don Shula when it comes to going above 500 and making the playoffs. Just barely. Kind of rooting for them this week against the Bills.
Okay, all right. Now,
rooting for a wild card. Let's have the Broncos playoff game.
Now, I hear in Buffalo over the weekend they might have some snow, and it could be a whiteout. Is that good for Mason Rudolph? Because that's what he likes. I hear a whiteout.
Well, I'm sure. I'm sure he's got some white stuff in his closet. I'm sure. We'll see how he handles this January 6th hangover. But hey man, Steelers playing some decent ball. They survived that wet and sloppy against the Ravens backups, and Jacksonville chokes away the South, and things open up. You're telling me there's a chance.
Well, I got a question because I've been 0 for 2. Do I have a chance of not effing it up? We're gonna find out. Let's do it right about now. This is Ed in Columbus with your We Like Sportz breaking news. That's right. The Cleveland Browns will face rookie QB phenom C.J. Stroud this Saturday in an AFC wildcard matchup. Stroud has had so much success in the NFL, maybe the Browns should wear Michigan Wolverine jerseys. That might make for a bad day.
His ass there.
The Peacock streaming-only wildcard game will feature the Dolphins at the Chiefs. When asked about the game being on a premium service, Swiftie fans didn't seem to mind, as the majority of them said, "What's a couple bucks when we can see Tay-Tay?" They also said the game's an added bonus, but they don't know what the fuck's going on. And finally, if you're singing the Michigan fight song like I did last night, and as a Buckeye, it really hurt, but I did just for my fans out there, saying the Michigan Hail to the Victors, remember, it's conquering heroes, not cock-ring heroes. Hey now. And this is Ed in Columbus with your We Like Sportz breaking news.
I didn't know about the cock-ring thing.
Yeah. Well, if the Lions Den wants to sponsor us, I'm okay with that.
Adult Mart. They're a sponsor. Adult Mart is the sponsor. All right. We moved on from Manscaped. The cock rings.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's a natural progression, I see. CJ, did I break my slump there, or still
the Taylor Swift one a little bit? I don't think you're out of it yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
you're fighting these monkeys. You're fighting these demons on your back.
Well, maybe it's just seeing your beautiful face. It gets me all flustered. I don't know.
That and cock rings was just because you're too excited.
Well, that I knew when I wrote that. I was like, yeah, I get to mention cock rings. I did feel a little excited. That and the Mountain Dew always. But like I said, did
you watch the whole game last night? You made it through that whole game last night?
I did make it through the whole game, and like I said, it was peaks and valleys for me when it comes to my emotions, because I thought there were times where maybe Washington had a chance, and
it felt like they were just a play away every.
Yes,
but every time they were just gonna fuck it up. I mean, that's just what it felt like. I've never seen, and you see teams come into that settings and it looks like the lights are just too bright, but that was one where it looked like the lights were just too bright for Washington.
Well, speaking of bright lights and hopefully not fucking things up, but we got our man here, Peyton Vince, playoffs in Pittsburgh, Vince, I should say. What's up, my guy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
You know what? You were this close to making Ed have a mustache, but you didn't want to man up and join it.
At the end of the day, though, that facial hair is looking awfully nice, though, especially now that Mason Rudolph, QB1. Who would have thought?
Is he the guy? Is he a franchise quarterback? Are we just going to?
Yeah, definitely.
He's the guy?
Flip it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, honestly, though, who would have thought? Yeah, I've been saying it. It's been 2 days, but I've been saying it all week. If somehow Browns versus Steelers AFC Championship game.
Ooh. We'll get credentialed for that. Will we get credentialed for that? Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm buying company tickets, all of us. I'm dropping $1,000 for each of us. I got Ed. I got CJ.
It'll be more Browns in an AFC. Browns in an AFC title game against Pittsburgh, I think that would cost more.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Peyton, because speaking of money and everything like that, we got you here. And you know what? I won a little bit of dollars over the weekend with my bookie. So you know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing.
You bet on the Wolves? You bet on Michigan?
Look, I'm not going to say what I did, but I won some money. And CJ and Peyton, if you found a $100 bill on the ground, you wouldn't walk past it. So don't pass up a chance for cash with my bookie. My bookie has the biggest online selection of odds and contests to fill all your sports betting needs anytime, anywhere. So you can turn your sports knowledge into cash into your wallet. Bet on the NFL, college bowl games, or play for a share of big cash prizes for your weekly blackjack tournaments. Their weekly blackjack tournaments. My bad, I'm getting good. But you know what? There's no more college football, but there is something better. You know, if you've been waiting for live action, it's your time to move today. So sign up on MyBookie. Use the promo code SPORTS with a Z, SPORTS with a Z, and claim your deposit match, redeemable up to $1,000. So you want to check that out. Again, that's promo code SPORTS with a Z. Claim your bonus. Experience the thrill of sports betting right from the comfort of your own home. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And MyBookie.
And you mentioned blackjack too, right?
Yes, little blackjack.
Yeah. And I actually got a text from Casey a little bit before the show. He was telling me once again for like the third straight week, he won blackjack, turned that into some money for MyBookie, and ended up making some bets off that anytime touchdown by Blake Corum last night. Won some money last night for him. So, I mean, kudos to Casey. I know he's probably not here right now. Friend of the show.
Yeah, but we do have a great show planned. We have Jay coming in, Houston guy, and with our Cleveland Brownies facing the Houston Texans. Now, maybe not your Brownies, Peyton, but some team. Well, you do happen to reside.
You wanted to be on the bandwagon.
Northeast
Hey,
Ohio.
I'm still kind of. I don't want to be on the bandwagon. I just want to see
be
the
on the
championship
bandwagon.
game
It's
now.
fun. It's fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, but have you ever seen the Mason Rudolph bandwagon? That thing was empty.
No. There's people with white hoods on it. I know.
No, wasn't that the people on January 6th? Is that aren't they people?
They're Proud Boys, right? That's what they call it.
Yeah, is that what that is?
Boys?
No,
yeah, I don't want to get arrested.
This is all alleged too, by the way.
Alleged, yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, they get some NFL audio like once a week. Where I'm like, how did they get that? Still waiting on that Mason Rudolph audio.
Yeah, but you saw the audio after the game with George Pickens. That's his brother afterwards, and that's the audio that counts at the end of the day.
Suppression is the word of the day.
Suppression? Use it in a sentence.
Mason Rudolph believes in the 2020 election there was voter suppression.
Thank you, CJ. Thank you. That's why we bring him back every week. He's not only a handsome face, but there's some brains up.
He's a historian too.
Yeah,
the We Like Sportz historian.
Anybody got any animals today? I love animals. CJ, where's your dog at?
He's upstairs. He's in timeout. He's a fucking.
You know what?
Dick.
When we actually call you to come on the show, it's really for your dog. You're just part of that.
And of course, when you ask about animals, I'm not at home at the time when I actually have my dog by me. So now, when I'm actually out and about working my next job, having some time in between between We Like Sportz show, regular job, doing this, paying the bills, getting tickets for this AFC championship game too for 5 of us, 6 of us if we end up having Casey fly up somehow, I think. If not, maybe his dad goes too. I don't know. But there's so many tickets, so much going on.
Sure, Ed's in the pool right now. Even though it's 40 degrees.
Wrong Ed, but yes.
Yes. Other Ed.
But I don't have my dog by me, of course, when you ask. But you do have a dog on your head, though. Or at least the team that is the dog.
Yeah. Defense always wins games, as they always
say. My Bill Cowher hat.
Yeah, from 1993, maybe 86, maybe.
Oh,
but yeah, we got a great show today. I don't know. Keith might be joining us. I don't know.
Keith here. He's probably are the Vikings playing tonight? Let me check.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I did hear a commercial on the way earlier.
I'm kind of lost without Keith right now. It's kind of so Keith. If you're out there in the terrestrial world, feel free to help me out here.
Next game's a road game against Milwaukee. Good game for Vikes. Okay. Coming off 2 straight wins.
Is he traveling?
As soon as I mentioned Keith Allen.
Keith!
What's going on?
There you go.
I was just mentioning. I was lost.
That's all you got to do. Mention CSU Vikings basketball.
It's like lighting a beacon.
You heard it. We found out who the Vikings play upcoming too. CJ did his research.
Got the game against Milwaukee coming up. Big game for us.
Oh yeah. What's going on, fellas?
Not too
tell
much.
us, Keith.
Huh?
First reaction about Michigan winning the national championship. How you feeling?
Oh well.
It's like I'm a little hungry.
I just say it's the year of the Harbaugh so far.
Well,
Year of Harbaugh.
Well, I'm glad you said that because we do have the great debate coming up later today, and hardballs, whatever you want to talk about, that might be a topic.
Jack looks exactly like Jim Wood as an old man. Like they kept showing his dad in the stands, and each time I was like, "Holy shit!" Like he doesn't look real. Like it looks like Jim took like an AI like scan of his face to make him older.
Oh damn.
He had the stupid hat on and everything.
Oh, but
wait. Speaking of Michigan, though, I don't know if I'd hit it on breaking news earlier, but did anybody talk about Jim Harbaugh's comments after the game about J.J. McCarthy?
No.
The best quarterback ever.
He made that. He said that after they beat Bama too. I don't know. He threw
either way,
like,
10 of 12 at the end of the game.
Yeah,
best quarterback ever.
I looked at the stats. I saw some. I thought like maybe like just quarterbacks don't have big numbers and natties. I was like Bennett was like 400 yards last year and like 4 touchdowns. He had 6 touchdowns last year. I was like, damn.
Is it any different than the Deshaun Watson people saying because Deshaun went 14 of 14, he's the best quarterback ever? I mean, that's what people do. That's what people
Saw
do.
a guy call them the Watson Warriors. Somebody called them the Watson Warriors. Somebody called them the Watson Warriors. I mean, we got Baker, bro. When there's lines in the sand being drawn, you know he's I mean, Sean Watson's already controversial. Now we're giving him nicknames, man. So you know he's got a posse.
Yeah, I said something. I tweeted something out last week, and believe me, the Watson Warriors did not like me at all last week.
What did you tweet?
Well, that video, that gif of the judge in Las Vegas, and the guy jumped over and went after her, and I said that's Watson Warriors every time they hear somebody say something nice about Joe Flacco.
Dude, these Watson Warriors are out there, man. Listen, I'm
Wait
trying to say
Flacco
that they
gets that
should
2-year
move
contract.
off Watson, but I don't know. He's like 50 years old.
Hey, you never know. Russ wasn't going to be the guy in Denver for long, and now they're flip-flopping back on that now. So anything could happen if you got Joe Flacco or if you're the Browns.
Listen, Jameis.
It ain't gonna happen.
Keith said him straight.
They got that. Watson's not going to. That contract is so
Joe is Mr. Here and Now.
Yep, that the Browns early rumors from what I heard, whether or not it's true.
I imagine this
Mason
is what
Rudolph for the Browns next year.
When Kelly Holcomb was a thing. I imagine this is what it had to be like.
Kelly Holcomb and Derek Anderson back then.
No, Kelly Holcomb, Tim Couch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
it was Brady
Kelly
Quinn
Holcomb.
and Derek
Brady
Anderson.
Brady Quinn and DA.
Yeah.
Hoyer and Manziel. It's always everybody loves that backup, man. Hoyer and Manziel was a fun one.
So basically, before we get our guests on here, what is your first initial reaction about the NFL playoffs? We'll go around real quick. CJ, what is your thoughts right now? Gun to your head. What is your first thoughts?
The first thing honestly comes to my mind, like when you look at these matchups, it's that Eagles matchup. Like what the fuck are the Eagles? Like this is like weird. Like, there's people talking about like Sirianni might get shit canned if they go out and lay an egg. Like the Eagles to me, I've never, and like Miami's another one, but to me, like I think that this Eagles, I don't want to call it a collapse, but like this Eagles like downturn is like not been talked about at all. Like some of them, like I think the Rams and the Lions, that's a sweet matchup. There's a lot of matchups they're like excited for, but like the Eagles and the Dolphins are the two teams to me where it's like what happened, and like it's like does Miami try to do something like they try to like move, like how do these teams react if they lose? Because there's got to be a fall guy. There's no
Eagles do lay eggs. Mammal fish do not.
No, yeah, they birth they're alive. Yeah,
Thank you. Yes.
They birth their young. But I just think like the Dolphins to me like is Tua, like you see a lot of guys get shit on the internet, and like Mike McDaniel's not gonna get shit on. Like Tua gets shit on every. Like it's Tua the problem in Miami. Like, you know what I mean? Is it kind of like there's been teams like the Chiefs moving off of Smith, the Rams moving off of Goff. Like, you see teams make those decisions. Because McDaniel ain't going anywhere. And then it's like kind of like almost the opposite. Like, they hate like Philly's turned on Sirianni and not Hurts, and Hurts has played like shit down the stretch. Like, people keep making the joke about he can't do nothing unless he has dudes pushing him by the ass cheeks.
Yeah,
like,
I've seen that a couple times.
Like so.
AJ Brown's
to me,
meltdown
but to
in the
me though,
locker
like the Eagles are super interesting if they lose,
Mm.
right? And then they kind of like if Baker wins, is he gonna go get a bag? Like,
Well, you mentioned Baker, CJ, and that's time to stop. Right now, we got our special guest on right now because it's Houston, it's Cleveland. Let's go. Let's go. Jay, what's up, my guy?
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing, man?
Doing pretty good.
Well.
How you doing?
Doing good. Pleasure to meet y'all, man. Thanks for having me on. I seem to have acquired an injury this week that requires a hitting pad, so it's been a little hard getting around, but so I'm I'm making it. But hey, listen, thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. Now we got a big game on Saturday at 4:30, kicking off the NFL playoffs, and that would be the Houston Texans hosting the Cleveland Browns. And I am an Ohio State Buckeye alum, and I love your quarterback, CJ Stroud. Now, we've mixed it up with a few cats down in Houston just for fans. Got a great podcast with Rios and everybody, and I told them come draft time, I said, look, you'll want CJ Stroud over Bryce Young. We did the Baker Mayfield thing, go with the strong quarterback, and it looks like it's paying dividends for Houston. Now, what are your initial thoughts going into this game? And if you are a Houston Texans fan, which obviously you are, what scares you most about the Cleveland Browns?
The defense, the number one ranked defense. I mean, it's the fact that they made it this far with no Nick Chubb and no Deshaun Watson. I've been first to say that if y'all had Nick Chubb, y'all probably would be a division winner. Top 5 back in the league. He's averaging 5.3 yards per carry, which is a league high. One can only imagine just how far they would have gone if they had Nick Chubb. Deshaun Watson, I know it hasn't exactly worked out the last year and a half between injuries and him trying to knock the rust off. But shout out to Joe Flacco, man. Old man Flacco really has come back, and there are people already saying after only 5 games that he should be comeback player of the year. It's just crazy, But Myles Garrett, runaway DPOY, and it's not even close. It's not close. Cowboys fans, I don't want to hear about Micah. No.
What about TJ Watt?
TJ Watt. Yeah.
TJ Watt will be the only other one. He has 19 sacks. He'd be the only other one. Okay. Micah's going to win. He's going to win one year, but not this year. Garrett is an absolute dog out there. So as far as this matchup goes, because we were without one of our linemen last matchup. Also, we were without one of our best pass rushers, and we were without CJ Stroud.
That's right.
So I expect a different game. Win or lose, I expect a different game. Obviously we had Case Keenum out there, and then got switched to Davis Mills. But a game's a game. No, complaints here. Shout out to Amari Cooper. He lit us up.
Yeah. Franchise Browns record 265 yards receiving.
Oh, yeah, and 2 scores. So, Amari Cooper did it. And speaking of Cowboys fans, shout out to y'all. Shout out to Jerry Jones for being dumb enough to let him.
Thank you.
Because just like I said, the biggest problem on your team is Jerry Jones. But anyway, with
no love lost between Houston and Dallas, I see.
Yeah, no love lost at all. But no, with the Browns. Now you said you're Ohio State, right? So
yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this is the thing, and it doesn't surprise me about CJ Stroud, because what if I told you, now everyone knows that feared defense for University of Georgia, right? Like, no one scores on them. What if I told you the one person that they had trouble with all year long was CJ Stroud in the Peach Bowl? He lit them up. He did at will. CJ Stroud, he made it look like he was playing a Division II team. That's how it looked. Stroud went off versus Georgia.
CJ made
who won the game?
CJ's a resident Georgia fan here.
Who won the game?
And I even go as far. I'm sorry, CJ. What happened?
I was like, Ed, who won the game?
You know what? Bad kicker, Ryan Day, but it wasn't CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud was the best player on that field.
He was.
When I did the mock for us, I thought he was the best quarterback. I thought Carolina was going to take him at 1 because He's a guy you trade up and you go get. I mean, he is. I listen. I put my big mouth on the line with a lot of guys, and Stroud was one I was like, I'm glad like he fucking hit because if I wrote a lot of checks on CJ Stroud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, with CJ, it's just he always plays like he's been there before. I'll tell you who did lose that game, and that was Ryan Day. That was just horrible coaching down the stretch. He snatched that victory away from CJ Stroud, and might I add, that Peach Bowl was the de facto that was the
championship.
that was the unofficial national championship game because the winner would have went on to kill TCU.
Yes.
So Ohio State, if they won, Ohio State would have won the national title.
Well, this really hurts, especially after last night's game as a Buckeye fan, knowing that we had a natty last year and but thanks for bringing it up, my guy. Thanks for bringing it up. I do have a question for you because you're down in Houston and you saw him firsthand. The Browns, Deshaun Watson that we have now, is he going to get back to form, you think? Or what because look, the Michael Jordan of football wins national championship with Clemson. I love Deshaun Watson coming out. I thought he balled out in Houston. Obviously he's had some injuries. Is he going to be what he was in Houston? Because as a Cleveland Browns fan, for $230 million, I know people want to talk about the price, and that doesn't bother me as much because all quarterbacks are getting paid. But at the same time, like I want Deshaun Watson to ball out. Am I going to get that, my guy?
Oh, we've talked about this on our show, The Gauntlet, a few times. And I've said that Houston Watson needs to come back. When he gets on that field, Houston Watson needs to show up.
What's the difference though between the two? Like I don't want to hear that he's just like playing bad. Like because I didn't watch Texas. I was watching the Browns be terrible during that time. It's like what's the difference between things that Houston did for him and that we might not be doing, or he's just not like clicking again? And I don't even want to hear like rust at this point anymore.
I don't. It's not necessarily what Cleveland isn't doing for him, but obviously they're giving him weapons. You got Amari Cooper, you got David Njoku, you got Nick Chubb. Granted, he got injured, but I mean, you still got Ford in the backfield. You got Kareem Hunt back, so it's not like he doesn't have weapons. Cleveland has weapons, And well, let's face it. By the time he comes back next year, Chubb will be back. But I'm talking about the Watson that won the passing title back in like 2019.
Right. That's what I want to see. Watson. Let's go.
Yes. I'm talking about the Watson that ain't afraid to air it out. The Watson that was a magician getting out of a pocket, dead to rights, avoids two men for a second and gets the ball off. That Watson needs to come back. I've noticed that he's been lowballing receivers, if you notice,
Yes.
And that was uncommon like in Houston. And that's why I was saying to CJ's point that it was rust. The man went 15 months without playing football.
Yeah.
And then when you come back, because how many games did he really play? Full games since he's been back? Like
not
6?
many. Like maybe
like about 12.
Like
12.
8 and 4, something like that.
12. It was 6 the first year. 6 the first year, and that was kind of
and about 11 this year. And 11 this year. Well, no, not 11, but 5 total. This year. 11 games total this year. 11 games total.
He's willing to let it rip like he was in Houston.
Yeah.
But can I say?
Chuck and deep.
But can I also say one thing? Also, in the scope of the Browns' offense, Deshaun doesn't necessarily have to be the Deshaun in Houston that they really need him to be in Cleveland because you got Nick Chubb.
That is true. But the Watson you're seeing right now, y'all don't need neither.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
And I guess my point is this. I'm watching CJ Stroud just tear it up like Warren. Like I'm an old school guy, okay? So I remember the Browns Oilers back in '80. I remember Warren.
Yeah, exactly.
That's AFC
the Moon and Kozar shootouts,
yeah, Glanville and Schottenheimer and everything. I mean, to me, that's what I love. And I'm watching CJ Stroud come in, and it's so effortless, and it's like he doesn't even break a sweat. And I saw one ball he threw, his arm got hit. He throws it with so much zip. The guy's right there. It's like he's doing things Dan Marino couldn't even do back in the day. And I'm watching him, and I'm thinking to myself, I thought Watson was more like that, and CJ's coming in, and it's just so effort. And maybe that's where my obsession or jealousy comes in, because I'm seeing this guy come in, and I'm just thinking, okay, we traded for this franchise guy. I want to see that. It's like buying a Maserati. Okay, I don't want to put it in the shop. I want to go on the track.
Right. Absolutely. It's just whenever you have somebody like Watson, and here's the deal. It's not like Watson's like 35, 36 years old. He's still a young man.
28.
And Yeah, he's 28 years old. So, I mean, is it fair to say he would be entering his prime right now? Now, he went and had shoulder surgery. I mean, we're not going to knock him for getting injured,
Right.
But let's see how he is when he fully heals up and starts throwing the ball again. I still think that it can happen, I still think that it can happen. Look, if Flacco can come off the bench at like 52 years old and sling the rock, I know Deshaun Watson can.
Fair enough.
Yes.
So other aspects of this game, and we're gonna play a little game of the great debate, and you're actually gonna be a judge.
Okay,
you're gonna be a judge of this, but going into this game, tell us about. And we know about C.J. Stroud. We know one of your receivers is out. Was it Depps or whatever like that? Out for the year.
Tank Dell, right?
Yeah, Tank Dell. I know. Yeah, Dell. That's what I meant. Tank Dell. So running the ball, will you guys be able to run or try to run against us, or do you think it's going to be a lot of C.J. Stroud short passing, kind of like the game plan that you guys had against the Colts? Kind of. Yeah.
The funny part is the only team that has been able to run on us all year was Indianapolis. As far as running the ball, when Motor Singletary gets going, he gets going. So this is going to be on our line. Laramie Tunsil, the Pro Bowler, of course, running things on the line. It's going to be on the line to open up those lanes, either zone blocking, man to man, however they choose to do it, to really get him going, because it can't just all sit on CJ Stroud's lap. But understand, I say this about any quarterback. I would say that about Dak Prescott. I would say that about Kirk Cousins. I would say that about hold on, you're the Browns. You know about this. You had 4 starting quarterbacks. You know about this.
Wow.
It shouldn't all that. You had DTR at quarterback. Even he got a win. You get a win. You get a win. Everybody get a win. So you should know, it should not all fall on the quarterback. Your defense handed San Francisco their first loss.
Yes.
San Fran's the number 1 seed and probable NFC favorite to make the Super Bowl.
I would agree with that.
A lot of people already have the Browns in the AFC Championship game, believe it or don't. But I will tell you this much. As far as this game goes, if Singletary gets going and Dameon Pierce, it would help open up the pass. We talk about Dell, but there's also that Noah Brown guy. There's that Nico Collins guy, the guy that went.
Nico Collins, pretty good.
Against Indianapolis.
Yep.
And here's the thing. At any given time, any Texans receiver can go for 150 plus. 1 week it was Dell. The next week is Noah Brown. The next week is Dalton Schultz. The next week is Nico Collins. Hell, one of the games, it was like 3 of those 4 guys. Stroud is spreading the ball. And it actually was one of my big questions, whenever the offseason hits, was should the Texans go and draft a true number 1? I disagree. I think he should be allowed to grow with Tank Dell. Because you see the type of connection that they had, especially since they actually built a rapport at the combine. It was Stroud that was actually throwing to Dell, and Dell was coming out of the University of Houston. And so, how you get paired up whenever you're receiving and quarterback and everything. Yep. Yeah, they actually built a rapport at that time period. They became good friends. And true story. You can look this up, but when he got drafted, Tank Dell said, "Congratulations on being drafted by the Texans. Tell them to come get me." CJ Stroud said, "I already told them I wanted you." Next thing you know, they drafted Tank Dell. So that was a testament to our front office. It's good on them for drafting CJ Stroud and immediately going to him like, "Okay, who do you want?"
Wow. Well, that just shows, and one thing about CJ Stroud, it's not just his, no interceptions and all these touchdowns, but the leadership. And I was watching, I always like to see his because I was at Ohio State watching him. I was always intrigued by him because he's not one of those rah guys that's gonna, what I'm saying, he's just so cool and like the other side of like Stuart Scott would say, like cool like the other side of the pillow.
Yeah.
And sometimes I always wondered the fire that he has, and but I was watching him in the huddle, and he's jumping and doing normal stuff, but it's just like, but you saw everybody's eyes were on him, like that he's galvanized that whole team, obviously the whole city and everybody's around him, and it's just I'll be honest with you, I'm just jealous. I want Watson to be that guy, and hopefully he can be. But I'm watching these CJ Stroud, and it's like I love them at Ohio State, but watching him in the NFL, he's gotten better. He is a pure passer. He's better than he's ever been. And if you go back and watch the Rose Bowl game against Utah with Jackson Smith and Jigba when he threw for like 300 some yards for him or whatever like that. I've never seen a quarterback just throw to the back of the end zone in a way that like nobody else could even catch it or even think about getting it. And he's making these throws. He's doing that in the NFL. Against these defenses that are supposed to be faster, smarter, more complex, and then you hear about in the draft that how I don't know if it was the Wonderlic test or one of those scores that he's supposedly scored so low. I never take those for Dan Marino scored bad on the Wonderlic. C.J. Stroud supposedly scored low. Two of the best passers I've ever seen. So I don't worry about those cognitive tests. Okay, to me, show me on the field, and then that's what those two did, and that's what C.J.'s doing for you guys right now.
Yeah, as far as the Wonderlic goes, I think there's only maybe one or two guys that scored high on it and became a success. One of them being Andrew Luck, So you can't really take those tests too seriously. Like, I understand why it's done, but don't sit there and think, oh, he's going to be a trash quarterback.
Right.
But I mean, you being an Ohio State fan, I mean, you already know.
I already know. Yep.
Is it fair to say that C.J. Stroud was playing at a pro level while at Ohio State? Why do you think Ohio State was blowing out Big Ten opponents by 40 points?
Exactly. And the only reason why he lost to Michigan was because the 1 year at Michigan, he was sick and the whole team was sick. And the next year, well, we could talk about stealing signs, but we won't talk about that because I know you're an Astros fan. We won't do that. But I will say one thing. I'll blame Ryan Day. I will blame Ryan Day's play calling because C.J. Stroud, like I said, you watched that Georgia game. I've never seen a player just dominate a great defense because that Georgia team was a great defense, and he shredded them.
He did. He absolutely shredded them, and took away the ledger, the almighty SEC. Granted, yes, Georgia did win that game, but SEC fans, which I remind you, the SEC is the only, conference that has fans of the whole conference. You never hear of Big Ten fans. You never hear of Big 12 fans. You never hear of Pac-12 fans or anything like that. I have never in my life heard of an Ohio State fan root for Michigan in the name of the Big Ten. Have you? No, you probably haven't.
No.
Now I am a Big Ten fan. Here's why. I rooted for Washington last night. They are joining the Big Ten.
Technically, they are, but here's the thing: you went against Michigan, and that's
Absolutely.
the point. The point is, you never root for the hated rival in the name of the conference. Now, I have come across Alabama fans who've rooted for Auburn and vice versa, and I'm like, how could you do that? I'm a Longhorns fan. You will never catch us rooting for the Sooners.
I rooted for Michigan
against
Alabama. Couldn't do it. Couldn't root for Alabama.
Yeah, couldn't do it.
Oh, so you're a Longhorns. I'm glad you said that. Now, obviously, another Ohio State connection, Quinn Ewers. What do you think about him? I see that face.
Quinn Ewers. Yeah, I know. I see CJ in the corner. He's like, oh, man.
Got to throw him down there. Coming to the SEC, we got to go there next year.
Once upon a time, there was another guy that was at Ohio State, and he walked to the SEC, and it was a success guy by the name of Joe Burrow.
I remember him. Thank you for reminding me.
But I will say this much, though, is I really like Kyle McCord for you guys. I hated that he left.
I do, too.
I hated that he left. One thing about Ohio State is I have yet to find the last, like ever since like before Troy Smith, like who's the other guy, Justin Zwick, and then just on down the line, even
JT
Todd
Barrett,
Barrett, even Todd Beckman wasn't bad for you guys. I thought he had a cannon. Then there was Terrell Pryor and everything like that. Ohio State has always managed to produce decent to great quarterbacks as far as the university goes, So, I mean, I have no worries that, the next guy coming in will be okay. Quinn Ewers, man, best Texas quarterback that's come back in a long time. And now it's being discussed if he will even return for next season. As of right now, and I think it was Mel Kiper Jr., don't quote me, but they actually had him going first round in the 24 draft.
Really?
To the Tennessee Titans. Yes, I saw this weeks ago. Now, those things like change and everything. That was
right. Pro days will matter and all that. Yeah, exactly.
Right. You know what I mean? Because very well, he just might, return to Texas for one more season. And then Arch Manning could sit behind him and get some experience, and then Arch eventually will start. Because I'll tell you what, Quinn Ewers will be his junior year next year, but if he comes back next year, he won't play a senior year. He's going to go to the league.
Right.
I think he's good enough to be in the league. But Quinn Ewers, best quarterback in a long time that's come across for the Longhorns. And a man, we're talking about shredding defenses, he shredded the Crimson Tide defense twice.
Yeah, he doesn't get hurt that first time last year. They beat him.
Yeah, agreed.
No doubt in my mind they win that game.
Agreed. And Alabama still almost lost to a backup quarterback, Hudson Card. You know his name. He's in the Big Ten now at Purdue.
Yep.
Hudson Card had a rolled ankle, and he came in and almost beat the Tide. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where Alabama, and no disrespect to their legacy, that Saban era is something you will never see again. But every team kind of has a thorn in their side. Is it Texas? No, great. Yeah, they did get him in the championship game in 2009, but since then.
Well, we're going to get into some fun, but Peyton Vince he sends me stuff. I love my guy, Peyton Vince. And, but he says this, and going back to the Texans Browns, I guess Joe Flacco, according to Mary Kay Cabot, a reporter up in Cleveland, Joe Flacco said to his teammates, something is going to happen in the next 5 weeks that we will remember forever. So maybe the Browns go on a run. Joe Flacco's feeling it. He's wacko for Flacco every time he looks in the mirror. So we'll see what goes on there. But that's always good stuff. But I like to play games. You know what? It is 2024, and unfortunately, we have to hate each other because it's a presidential election. I don't hate anybody. I always say this: vote for whoever you want, whoever makes your wallet fatter. I don't care. But some people, they like to fight. That's good for them, whatever they want to fight. But on here, we have the great debate. And here's what we're going to do.
Edward's so political.
So, Jay, me and you and I are going to be judges. And CJ, because he loves to run his mouth, he's going to, no offense, but you do. You're good at it. You're good at it. And Keith, the voice of reason over here. Keith is the voice of reason. He keeps us in check. So they're gonna square off today. And I think we're gonna do this. I'll give them a topic, and they did not have the topics beforehand. And then I give them their position, because I always say this: it doesn't matter, debate one side, whether you believe in it or not. Just take the topic and run with it, and just be a good debater here. Be a master debater, as CJ would say. So here's the topic. Here's the topic. The topic is D'Amico Ryans is your coach of the year, or Kevin Stefanski is your coach of the year. Keith, you kick it off. What position do you want? Do you want to argue for D'Amico Ryans?
You just said you were going to give us a position, you jackass.
What now? Are you coming after me? You coming after me?
Oh, no.
You coming after me?
No.
Hey,
no.
Jay, we're gonna dock points already.
Technically, it hasn't started yet.
Well, you know what? I don't play fair.
I don't play fair.
I don't play. Well, you know what? You're right, CJ. You're right. I'm not supposed to give this. I can flip a coin. I don't want to flip a coin. I want to hear.
Let Keith pick.
Yeah, Keith. Whatever side you want.
All right, I'm a homer. I'm going with Kevin Stefanski as coach of the year, and the reason why everything started back in training camp, really, for Kevin, when he took the team out to Greenbrier. But no one could have foreseen, if I go from the first week, when you lose Conklin at right tackle, then I go to week 2, you lose the franchise, literally, Nick Chubb. Week 3, after Watson has one of his best games as a Brown. Then I go on, you lose key pieces of the defensive line. You lose safeties on the defense also. You lose your quarterback of the defense on the defense, Anthony Walker. And Myles Garrett even got dinged up. And you lost Denzel Ward for a couple of games. Along with Mari Cooper was banged up. The 2 key contributors on your team were on the street in week 2, watching the Browns lose to Pittsburgh when Nick Chubb got knocked out, which was Kareem Hunt and Joe Flacco. And I don't think any other coach could have got this team to win 11 games. 11 games for except Kevin Stefanski.
Strong argument.
And you also got to think also, Kevin did some other key things in the offseason. Different defensive coordinator, Schwartz. Different special teams coordinator, Ventrone. And plus, he got rid of a guy that wasn't cutting it in Perion Winfrey. He got rid of the distraction. and let him know that it's team first. Bullshit last. If you don't bullshit, you out of here.
I like that. Do you need any more time?
No, I don't need no more time. But
Yeah,
Kevin should be, Kevin should be coach of the year. Kevin should definitely be coach of the year. And any other team, because think about this. 5 different starting quarterbacks. And 4 of them all got wins.
Yep. That's true.
Compelling argument.
And he also got rid of K. York, where he could have easily kept this dude and found out during the season dude wasn't it.
That's a win right there. That's good stuff right there from Keith. Now we will have a rebuttal from CJ in Cleveland, and he will take the position that DeMeco Ryans, the coach of the Houston Texans, should be the NFL's coach of the year. CJ, the floor is yours.
Listen, I love me some Kevin. I've had for a while. But I think that we are sleeping on what DeMeco Ryans has done. I mean, when you look at just how bad the Texans have been, and I'm not talking about Lovie Smith and David Culley, but there's Romeo Crennel. There's the end of the Bill O'Brien era. Like, the Texans for a while were the new Browns. They traded their franchise quarterback. Their franchise quarterback sat out for a year. I mean, he's taken this team of rookie, CJ Stroud, and don't get me wrong, big on Stroud, but he's a rookie. He won 7 games or wins 10 games, wins the division with him. Dude lights up the world. He takes, I didn't know Noah Brown played for the Dallas Cowboys. He takes Noah Brown.
Yes, he did.
He takes Nico Collins. He's got Tank Dell he drafted. He takes these pieces, Last year, Pierce has this great year, and he's not cutting it. He does the same thing. Devin Singletary comes in. Devin Singletary's the lead back. Devin Singletary's proven to be a great back for them. And you just look at the way that they could have packed it in. They lose to the Jets. Stroud gets hurt. They come back. The Browns, tough one. And then they win back-to-back games against the divisional opponents. They go on the road to Indianapolis, end Indy season. They win the division, right? I think there's something to look at. Stefanski, yeah, he's done a great job, but he's been here, 4 or 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's got that we've been saying for 3 seasons he needs to fire Joe Woods. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
DeMeco Ryans inherited, when you look at what the Browns had last year, and I know the Browns, right? P.J. Walker gets hurt, whatever. Everybody gets hurt. But when you look at the job of just this fucking mess that Ryans walks into after Culley, Lovie Smith wins a game, they don't get the number 1 overall pick. And he just turns this franchise around. And this is an overnight turnaround. I don't see how you could pass up DeMeco Ryans for Coach of the Year, right? And most of the credit that the Browns give, they give it to Schwartz. He's out here and DeMeco's got a guy, he's never called plays before, and he's calling plays. And they're making a good offer. I just think that this DeMeco Ryans, who would have told me that the Houston Texans would have been the winners in the AFC South?
That's
right.
Any more time? Or is that, are you?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. All right. So we had 2 compelling arguments. I will actually go first in my winner here for this particular point, and then we'll have you go ask Jay because I want to see what you. So here's the thing, and I'll be short and quick. Everything both of you gentlemen did an awesome job. First and foremost, I think where I'm going to give it to CJ is here's why, because there's nothing more you could have done, Keith. There's nothing more you could have done. CJ hit the one point that I wanted him to hit. And if he hit it, he was going to win in my eyes. He mentioned the quicker turnaround, that he did it in 1 year. And so the fact that he did mention Stefanski was there 4 years. And I think that's the difference. Stefanski won it his first year. And to me, this is like a Stefanski 2020 season, what DeMeco Ryans did this year. You're a rookie coach. You come in and you win Coach of the Year right away. And the thing is, he won the division. And the Browns have 11 wins. I love the 11 wins. And you can't help it, Baltimore.
But that's the AFC South.
I know. It's not fair.
The teams will all go 0-8 in the AFC North. They all get their asses handed to them.
You can only play
all of them. Houston, they wouldn't beat nobody in the AFC North. Jacksonville be 2-15.
Houston beat the
Indianapolis would be 4-13.
Houston's 2-2 in the AFC North. Steelers and
What is
Bengals.
DeMeco Ryans' record going through the AFC North without
2-2.
CJ Stroud?
Oh, well, 1, but I mean, it's Case Keenum. Case Keenum stinks.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't. Creed, everything you said was perfectly spot on. It's just I have to. I think what it comes down to is I think DeMeco Ryans. The more I think about it and what he's done, because he won the division.
And on top of that, Kevin did it in a year where if he didn't do shit this year, his ass was grass.
Yeah, he was on the hot seat. I'll give you that.
That could have happened to DeMeco. Houston fires guys after 1 year consistently.
The McNairs. You never know. They could have.
There's been a change in the culture, obviously, but I'm not knocking what you said.
Jay, who do you got? Who do you got for this?
To my man's down there, actually, you hit some good points, but you didn't mention the one name I was looking for you to mention. You also lost Grant Delpit for a few games, and I know this for a fact because
I did say they lost. I did say they lost both their safeties.
He did say safety.
Well, okay, you said both their safeties. Okay, but I know this because I drafted Grant Delpit in fantasy football. It's one of those leagues where you actually draft defenders.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, I drafted Grant Delpit. That dude was giving me like 13 points a game. He is a dog, no pun intended. And I'm probably going to pick him up next year,
Better keep him.
Yeah, absolutely, No, compelling argument because, and I'll go quick. If DeMeco was to not win Coach of the Year, the only other right answer is Stefanski.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
yes.
To CJ's point, and not a lot of people know this was news today. Texans offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick the Carolina Panthers reached out to us for permission to interview him for their head coaching position.
Oh, I think he's gone. I think somebody's
I think so too.
Think he's gonna go to Carolina?
I will say
Carolina, but like these dudes off the Shanahan tree,
seems
to be like it's gold.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I don't know if he want to go to Carolina.
No, he might. That's the job.
It is.
Where the owner throws stuff at you from the
Oh yeah, you can get a free gift from the owner if you sit close to him. Like it's not, let's just hope whoever's the head coach ain't sitting right next to him.
Right.
And he might only have 6 games in his first year.
No.
There you go.
You still get paid though. You still get paid to sit at home.
Paid the rest of the year because Matt Rule had the great train robbery.
Yeah, right.
That's so beautiful.
Oh yeah, that was one of the bigger train robberies since Brock Osweiler speaking to the Texans. But we're not talking about that.
No.
No, awesome, compelling argument. I'm gonna have to give it to CJ because of the turnaround. Absolutely, Stefanski is in year 4. He actually became just the first Browns coach since Marty Schottenheimer to have 2 playoff appearances and winning seasons, multiple ones. And again, he's in year 4, year 5, and then also absolutely nobody, not even people here in Houston, had Houston doing that good this year. I mean, to take an offense who a lot of people said, now, yeah, we got CJ, but coming in, it was a projected bottom 5 offense. We got some leftovers from Dallas. We got a rookie in Tank Dell. We got Dameon Pierce coming off an injury. We got Motor Singletary. That's great. But then to watch them develop into this, it's DeMeco Ryans. But it's close, though, because like I said, if DeMeco doesn't win it, it better be Stefanski. Or I'm throwing a riot. It better not be anybody else.
Okay. All right. Well, that's we'll go one more, and then if we need a tiebreaker, and we'll go quick. What I'm going to do is give you guys 2 minutes to answer the question. And I'll give you the topics. What would you and Keith and CJ? You decide. No, Jay, you decide. I'll give is a topic going to be is Michigan's title tainted? Yes or no? Or Harbaugh? Who's a better coach, John or Jim Harbaugh? Which one do you want?
Harbaugh versus Harbaugh.
Okay. CJ, since I had Keith pick, you get to pick which Harbaugh's better. You get to go.
Yeah, I like Keith pick.
Oh, he deferred.
He's deferred. Yeah, I said you can pick it, but now he's deferring.
That's okay. He deferred. Keith,
I don't want to say
good
things about it.
He's Marty Morningweg. He's deferring.
Is Michigan's title tainted? I say no. And the reason why I say no is
we're doing the Harbaugh.
No. It's the Harbaugh. Which Harbaugh was better?
Yeah, he's like, fuck it. I'm gonna just change the topic.
Which Harbaugh? It's Jim Harbaugh in Michigan.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
It's Michigan.
Okay.
He's everywhere he's went, teams have turned to gold. Stanford, nobody talked about Stanford except for John Elway till Harbaugh got there. You started talking about luck. Stanford got physical. Stanford started winning a lot of games in the Pac-10. Go. Went to San Francisco. San Francisco 49ers were shit as a franchise around that time. Harbaugh got him to the Super Bowl, and he took a 4th-round pick in Colin Kaepernick and brought him next level and got them to the Super Bowl. Should have won, but that's neither here or there. Went to Michigan, was Ohio State and Michigan State's bully punching bag for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Then got Michigan to the next level. And honestly, he goes to LA and becomes the Chargers head coach. He's gonna get the Chargers to the next level.
Good answer. That's under 2 minutes too. Good job, Keith. That's a great. CJ, good luck.
Yeah, it's easy. Anybody can win in college. I mean, Gene Chisholm won a national title. I mean, it's a playoff where we just held out the best team in the country. They would have been the Dogs against Georgia on a neutral site. Jim, he's good, yeah, right. But he flamed out in the NFL. He goes back, he's probably going to fail again. He flamed out. Don't give me that face, Ed. He flamed out.
I'm not saying that.
Last year in San Francisco was rough. When you look at John, I mean, yeah, John, he came to a good situation in Baltimore. But, I mean, talking about a consistent playoff team, a Super Bowl champion. He beat Jim in a Super Bowl head-to-head. Did it with Joe Flacco. He's done it with Lamar. He's been power run. He's been more like deep shots. He's moved with the times, right? I think it's without a doubt. You're asking me which Harbaugh I can get to coach my team. We did this with Tom on last week, right? Would you take Mike Tomlin to coach your team? Absolutely, right? What Harbaugh would I take? If they were both out there, I'm taking John Harbaugh over Jim 100 times out of 100. Jim Harbaugh is a goofy, SpongeBob-loving clown. He's a cheater. He's got a tainted title. Taking
everybody
John
in the NCAA cheats.
Taking John Harbaugh.
Everybody in Power 5 cheats.
Not Vanderbilt.
Everybody.
Not those good kids at Vanderbilt.
Everybody in sports.
They all cheat. Right. If you're not cheating, you ain't trying.
This is coming from Astros fan. Never mind. I'm not doing that.
Oh no, I'm not denying that in 2017 we didn't. I'm not denying it. I'm just letting you know everyone else is in that boat too. They just weren't called out.
Exactly.
Well, I want to thank both of you guys for your answers. I thought they were well thought out and nicely put into 2 minutes. I'll go first with I'm going to give this one to Keith. I thought he laid out a nice transition of Jim Harbaugh's destinations and how he turned them around, and maybe they flamed out a little bit. CJ his last year in San Francisco, but
8-8, man, lost 4 of the last 5.
Thank you, CJ. But he did take him to a Super Bowl.
John should be kissing Lamar Jackson's ass because Lamar saved his job because he was about to get canned. And guess who he had a quarterback before he was about to get canned? Flacco.
Great point. Man, we don't stop even after the debate. So I'm giving it to Keith. Jay, who are you giving this to?
I may have to give it to Keith for the sole purpose that he said that everywhere Jim has went, he made it better. No one was checking for Stanford until Jimmy got there. No one was. People thought Alex Smith was a flat-out bust until Jimmy got there. Michigan was an afterthought in the Big Ten until Jimmy got there. And I know that this might not be fair to John because he's been in one place for 14 years.
Right.
He did win a Super Bowl. I'll tell you this much. If Washington won the game last night, I would have given it to CJ.
Now, that would be. I think you're right. I think you're. Yeah.
In all fairness, CJ, hey, I like it, brother.
I'm a big Jim guy. Right? I would take Jim 100 times over John. They're talking about Jim getting fired and after the COVID. You're not going to get anybody better than Jim Harbaugh. I was like, he's the best you're going to get at Michigan ever.
And when he goes to LA, he's going to turn the Chargers into gold.
I understand, man. College money talks. College buyouts are different. Matt Rule's got a good buyout, but that Jimbo buyout is going to be – that's generational wealth.
It is. I mean, they get paid a lot, but sometimes you ever take a look at a coach's resume and just kind of foresee or project where they might end up? Like, for example, I'll give you Coach Prime, for example. So he was at Jackson State, and then now he's at Colorado, right? And now some people are saying, well, he wants to go to the NFL. I'm telling you, he does not want to go to the NFL and deal with those guys and a bunch of players that's telling them what they ain't going to do because they underpaid or they may feel like they're underpaid or whatever. I think Coach Prime's, I think that his end game is Florida State. He wants to go back like Jim and coach his alma mater. With that being said, I think that Jim's final destination is the National Football League. But I did also have another team, and I want to ask you guys real quick. I know I'm sorry I'm the guest, and y'all been kind of asking.
Take over, please. Make my job easy here. Take my job easy.
So I do want to ask you guys something real quick because we talk about the Chargers, and the Chargers was my pick. But I saw a popular thing on Bleacher Report, a popular team circling around, and he did play quarterback for him at one point. What do you guys think about the Chicago?
I think they're going to keep Eberflus. I don't think they're going to
Chicago is interesting, though.
I think if you're going to go to Chicago, now is the time, though.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think that Fields would become a better quarterback with Eberflus or Harbaugh? And Harbaugh is a quarterback.
Harbaugh. I think they need to take Caleb. I don't know how you
Harbaugh. But I think Fields is probably gone in Chicago, though.
I think it's the end of the Fields era. I think it needs to be the end of the Fields era.
I think what they're going to do is, because a lot of it got to do with money, and pretty soon you're going to offer Fields money where you can't.
Next year is the 5th year.
Put pieces around the team like you normally could. Where with Caleb Williams, you're doing it at a discount, even though it could be dicey.
Yeah.
Because the NFL is a different league than college. And Caleb, you've seen chinks in the armor this year when they was playing in the Pac-12, and you've seen teams taking it to USC on that offensive line. And the thing is with Caleb, if you draft Caleb, you might be behooved to get the best tackle available.
Okay.
If the 10th pick in the draft.
Sexy tackle talk on the We Like Sportz show.
I'm for real, because that left side will keep Caleb Williams upright.
Okay. Okay, then. So you think they should ride with Caleb? What do you think?
You're going to get Caleb Williams. You got the tackle is always in Cleveland. We had the Joe Thomas. And give me Maserati, Marvin Harrison Jr. Give me some or Roma Duze. Give me somebody that Caleb Williams can throw the ball to.
Yeah.
I need my weapons to have other weapons, if you know what I mean. Weapons on weapons on weapons on weapons.
Yeah. And Thomas, if it's anybody in the last 20 years that never went to the playoffs that absolutely deserved to go, it was Joe Thomas.
Yeah.
Thomas, as bad as the Browns were, he could have went anywhere else, and he stayed put.
True, he could have went to Denver the year they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and he stayed put. I honestly, I love Joe Thomas. Good dude, one of the best linemen in the league. I hope he's doing great wherever he's at. But yeah. On you, do you think what do you think about Chicago?
Chicago is interesting, though. Very interesting. Offensive guy. And honestly, I'm going to be honest, Chicago didn't have a clue what to do with Justin Fields earlier this year. Stay in the pocket. I'm like, is you crazy?
You saw what Harbaugh did with the greatest quarterback ever, J.J. McCarthy. Just ask him after the game. But you take Justin Fields and you put him in a Jim Harbaugh offense. Like, we all know Justin Fields. And look, as a Buckeye, I love him for what he did for Ohio State beating Clemson. But I'm not one of those people that, the first 2 years of the Justin Fields experiment, I would have said he's trash. He's not, you know what I'm saying? But I really paid attention this year, and I paid attention to the game in Cleveland. And I watched the first half where one of their receivers or tight ends dropped the ball. I mean, Chicago really should have beat the Browns this year. They really should have. And I watched him throw, and he was making good reads. He has bad receivers. We think the Browns sometimes have bad receivers. The Chicago Bears receivers, that's criminal what they're doing.
He's got DJ Moore, and that's it.
But
yeah.
Yeah. So Fields, I would say I would actually be okay with Fields. But he needs a new coach. And he needs another big-time receiver. And if you're not going to give that to him, then move on.
Jimmy's had running quarterbacks before, even though I'll attribute Kaepernick more to Greg Roman than Jim Harbaugh. You know,
Yeah.
because look what he did with Kaepernick, and then look what he's doing with Lamar. You know, I think that if Harbaugh can manage to steal Greg Roman away.
Well, Greg Roman
isn't it Monken now in Baltimore?
Yeah,
Isn't it
there.
Todd
Roman's
Monken?
nowhere.
It's Todd Monken in Baltimore now.
It is Todd Monken, yeah. But at one point, Roman did.
It was Roman. It was Roman.
It was
he
Roman
was
at one
with
point
him,
with
yeah.
Lamar, yeah.
I think they would package back up together.
You know what? Maybe he can talk to Greg Roman and say, "Hey, listen, we think we go to Chicago. We got another running quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, and to Ellen's point, you know, with the whole because you got to pay Fields next year, it's going to be hard to pay a guy that has a total of 12 wins in 5 years.
Yeah, with a record of 12-28.
Well, look at all those fantasy points he puts up.
Fantasy points ain't equating to wins.
Unfortunately, that only makes the fantasy owner money not.
Well, maybe we should pay Fields then. Maybe we should all chip in and give him $1. And if everybody does that,
yeah. If 50 million people gave him $1, hey,
there you
he
go.
gets money.
Right, he's all helped.
There's 381 people in the United States. We all chipped in $1. He can get his pay.
There you go. Because honestly, we've all had Justin Fields for a week help us out, at least 1 week in our fantasy lives.
Yeah. And plus, you also got to wonder what kind of contract does Fields get? Ooh. Because he could command Daniel Jones money.
And rightfully so.
What could you get for Fields? If they wanted to trade Fields, what do you think they get for Fields?
I'd say like a second round.
Picks.
I think he instantly become. I mean, you know, what'd they get for Darnold? They got second for Darnold?
I think so.
That's more you can build around if you got Caleb. That's all I'm saying, man. Because you're going to get something for Fields. You'll get something for Fields. That's more picks to get and build around Caleb. You're picking Caleb at 1 and you're sitting at, I think they're like 8. I think they're like somewhere between 8 and 10.
9.
Yeah. Get the quarterback, get an elite left tackle.
Get
a guy in the second round, get the receiver in the second round, or get you know what I mean, though? You can piece this together and make this happen.
You got to get that left tackle because if you don't get that left tackle, you ain't gonna be able to throw to nobody.
This is year 3 of Justin Fields, and I feel like we just have the same conversation about him.
But I think it's changed a little bit. I think Justin Fields this year has shown a little bit more in the passing. And then to me, he's look, I know what you're saying. It's the same conversation to a lot of people. But for people like even myself, I've watched him more. He is not like some of the narratives that you see. It's just so easy to just spit them off. But unless you pay attention, he really is not that. Like he's not what you would think that you're hearing from all the talking heads.
Yeah, I'm not
for me, watching him in that Browns game when they played the Browns, I feel like for every like play he makes, and it's like holy fuck, like that's a sweet play. He makes like 3 where it's like, what the hell is he doing? That's what I think. He just makes like some bad throws and they're misses. When he misses, it's bad.
He hits him in the hands, CJ. They drop it.
That's the one pass you can point to is the tight end dropping the ball.
But I think he needs to go. I think he needs to go somewhere where it has an offensive culture, where the coach can fully.
To me, Atlanta makes so much sense.
Yes, he's from the state of Georgia.
Yeah,
Atlanta makes sense.
Is Pittsburgh?
Shout out to Big Show Picks.
And you know what? That actually would be a good deal because think about it like this: just on the outside, okay? You trade him to Atlanta for Ritter, make Ritter a QB2, then you go get Caleb. You know, and then it works out because Atlanta has their QB1, Fields is back home, and then you got Caleb, and you got Caleb because Ritter. Sorry, I'm just not sold on him. I'm not sold on him either.
I think Ritter stinks. For me, I just don't know how. If you're sitting there at 1 and it's like you fell ass backwards into 1, right? I don't know how you pass up Caleb Williams for Justin Fields.
And you can't go 2 years in a row and pass up a quarterback. Think about it.
Like.
You passed up
last
C.J.
year
Stroud
to me was
this year.
Different. Well, I felt like last year Young was like consensus number 1. Like Young's going to go 1. There were some people talking about Stroud, but it felt like Young was the whole time. This year, I mean, if Williams is in last year's draft, right? You're taking Caleb 1 last year. I just feel like this is one of those things where I
think it's a no-brainer. You take Caleb Williams 1 if you have it. I do. If you need a quarterback or you think you just take him. And with Fields, you move on. You get second-round pick. You get some picks or whatever like that, and you just move on. Because I think it's in Justin Fields' best interest as well, the player as well, to move on. He needs a new change. He needs to change the scenery. He really does.
Mm-hmm.
He would have Kyle Pitts, Drake London. I mean,
Bijan
Robinson.
Yes.
Between
think
Bijan and Fields, you could get like easy 175 rushes.
Yeah.
And think about it,
Equal
Atlanta
Bowl
really.
with Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen back in the
Exactly.
day. Not
And
fair.
think about it.
If the Falcons could get Fields, I think instantly Atlanta becomes the best job. I think they're better. They're a million times better job than Chargers.
And plus, it don't
Because
take
you
too
don't-
much.
because the South
Don't-
stinks.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Don't take too much in the South.
No.
The South is bad.
Yeah. I mean,
Atlanta
Tampa Bay barely
low-key
won that
Win,
division. You know, Tampa barely won that division at 9 wins. It's been the worst division in football.
Atlanta's a quarterback away. They're 100% a quarterback away. They have all the other pieces around.
They
That
are.
quarterback play has been god awful. When you're out here rooting for Taylor Heineke, makes me question everything.
And
And
think
even with
about
bad
it.
quarterback play, even with bad quarterback play, they still
Dude,
was like a win and some
they're
help
like
away from winning
goofy
the
ass
division.
coaching decisions.
Yes.
Goofy coach. Arthur Smith made some of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen this year.
He needed to go.
Whew.
They didn't even.
Yeah.
He was going Sunday night. Like they didn't even wait till
Yeah.
Black Monday.
And they grew that stupid.
He was
mustache.
gone when they was going to shake. He was gone when he was going to shake hands for good game.
Yeah.
He was gone then.
But yeah. What so I always like to throw this out to our guests, you know what I'm saying? Is there anything that you want to talk about that's on your sports gourd that you just want to get out? Is there anything about the city of Cleveland, anything with this, game coming up? Is there anything that's going on that you want to talk about? Because I always call it, free whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about that.
Free whatever.
CJ, I've lost my train of thought. Okay, buddy, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I always call it. Free whatever.
Free whatever. Free whatever. New segment,
I think
free
that,
whatever.
I'll do a quick score prediction. Of course, I'm going to go for my team here. I think it'll be a closer game than last time. CJ Stroud probably looks at Cleveland's, defense the same way he looked at Georgia's. Not saying that that's a college level defense, but in saying that he doesn't get rattled under pressure. And when he's faced with a strong defense, Pittsburgh's defense is still Pittsburgh's defense with arguably the best pass rusher in the game in TJ Watt. And Houston held them in check and they blew out Pittsburgh 30-6, and they're a playoff team. So, I think it's funny because I was on the coach show just last week and I was like, it's going to come down to the kickers. I'll say the same thing. I think it's going to come down to Fairbairn. I'm going to say 31-28 Houston. Fairbairn nails a walk-off.
Yikes.
Okay.
Those make me cry. I really hope
Look at
it's
this,
not.
CJ. Look what segment we got.
Free whatever.
Since we're gonna do predictions right now, Keith, what's your prediction right now? If you had to give one,
My prediction is, if the Browns don't turn the ball over, and we always say on Locked On Sports, no damn turnovers. If the Browns play a clean game on offense, the defense will take care of their business. I got the Browns winning 27-24. It ain't gonna be easy though, because the Houston team that we faced in December is not going to be the Houston team we faced on Saturday. Because you got to think about it. Along with C.J. Stroud being out, Nico Collins was out.
That's true.
A key dude on the defensive line, along with Will Anderson, was out.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not facing that team this Saturday.
Yeah,
of those guys.
And I do a show with a Ravens fan, and he said, man, that Flacco, whether they win or lose the game, that Flacco interception is damn near guaranteed. That would be the one thing that I would fear if I were you all, is hope he doesn't turn it over at an inopportune time.
Yeah.
Well, I think Tillman's going to have to sit this one out because Tillman is probably the prime reason on a couple of those interceptions by not running routes all the way properly. But
he's a rookie. He's a rookie.
But also, Flacco has made throws like I was telling Ed on Sunday, like the Chicago game. It was like you had to see that it was triple coverage and stuff. So if we don't turn the ball over, I like our chances. But I will also say this, because easy could be the other way around. If the Browns turn the ball over more than twice, we're going home.
Yes, we are. CJ, are the Browns going home?
No, I mean, I can't pick against the Browns. Even if I thought they were going to go home, I can't. I think it's going to be a bit of an ugly game. I do. I think they're going to be ugly on both sides. I don't think either team really runs the ball well. So to me, I think whatever team runs the ball better is going to win. I think it's going to be. I just think it's going to be sloppy. I don't know. I just have this feeling it's going to be just like one of the most boring, just like shit we got to sit through. I think the Browns are going to win like 24-14. I think there's going to be some kind of goofy touchdown in there. I just think this is going to be like a bad slop. Because I think there's two good defenses. I really do. I think when you look at, the way it played out, I just don't see, if Joe Flacco comes out and he fucking chucks it around and Cooper gets 200 yards, I think we're going to shut blow the doors off. I just don't think that's going to happen. And I think the Browns defense has just been playing too well to this is the game they're going to go get lit up. I think Browns like 24-14 though. I think it's going to be like a boring, sloppy little game. There might be like a pick six or something in there as the difference.
Well, I will say this too, Jay. Your names, Denzel Sniper, third. You got great names. One in the chamber. Nelly now. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You bring it. And I always appreciate that. Unfortunately for you and your Houston compatriots on Saturday, the Cleveland Browns are going to bring it, and they're going to bring it with a score of 26-21 in a game that will be close. CJ Stroud, look, one thing with him, I think it's going to be hard for us to, build upon a lead because he's always kind of going to bring them back and keep them in the game. I think the last time the game, got out of hand because he had, Davis Mills and,
the Browns loaded the bench too.
Yeah.
Right,
So yeah. So, I'm saying CJ Stroud is that steady hand. He's been that way all year. I mean, you guys are, South champions. I mean, that says something. I mean, you guys know how to win. I think winning matters. You got a winning culture now. And D'Amico Ryans, I mean, the prodigal son comes home. I remember when you guys drafted him and, he just seems like the right fit for Houston and that defense is playing well. I think they're still missing. I think, unlike Cleveland, who's got like a lot of stars on their defense and now they're finally living up to that and hopefully they can all stay healthy. I think Houston is, their defense, you look at them, they play solid defense, but I still think they're missing 2 or 3 pieces that you could, over the next couple of years, you could really upgrade that defense and get to where you need to be. That's the thing. You're playing as well as you are with guys that might not be there in the next 2 to 3 years. And Cleveland, this is Cleveland's all-star team. That's why I believe Cleveland has to make a good run this year because, we always talk about building. Oh, you make it to the playoffs and then you win, you get to the AFC Championship game. No, go win the whole damn thing. Like, some of these teams feel like they got to build. What more do you want on defense than what Cleveland has right now? You got Flacco throwing for over 300 yards a game. And look, we all saw what Nick Foles did for Philadelphia a couple years ago. It's the hot hand that wins. Hopefully that hot hand in Flacco stays hot. I hopefully think it's hot enough to win in Houston. You know what I'm saying? But Houston has not been a kind city when it comes to Cleveland. Obviously, the Oilers in 1988.
Oilers-Browns rivalry.
Look at the Astros and the Indians/Guardians. I mean, the city of Houston does kind of own the city of Cleveland when it comes to sports. It does. The first Cavs game at the then Gund Arena. My grandma called it gonorrhea, but now it's Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, but Gund Arena. It was the Houston Rockets and won 100-98. So there's just something with the city of Houston that Cleveland somehow comes up short. Hopefully it won't happen again on Saturday.
Hey, don't do this to me.
I'm sorry. I'm
scared easy. I didn't know this about the Rockets and.
Yeah, gonorrhea. Don't get gonorrhea. Okay? That's a bad thing. But but like I said, I think Cleveland gets it done. But like I said, kudos in my hat, tip at the cap to CJ Stroud because gosh, you guys are going to have some fun in the upcoming years. And it's nice to no offense to Deshaun and everything, but CJ Stroud is that one cat. It's hard not to root for, and it's such a squeaky clean and everything, and especially with his father and everything. Like, I mean, his father got some issues, whatever like that, but the kid grew up, lived in top of his I don't know if it was an apartment or whatever like that, and quarters. I mean, it was not ideal conditions, and he did not mention that. CJ Stroud did not mention that at Ohio State the whole time he was there until he left Ohio State. Nobody even knew that. That's the kind of cat that he is because he doesn't want sympathy. He doesn't want nothing. He's a cool
and he
cat.
also played for Snoop Dogg.
He did. He was on Snoop Dogg's
That's right.
Yes, he's a native Californian. He played on Snoop Dogg's Pop Warner team.
Yes, he did.
The SNOOPDOGYDOGG.
That Snoop Dogg. That's
Snoop
right.
Dogg.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that guy.
That dude. Absolutely.
Oh, but Jay, you've been a great guest. Is there anything you want to say before you jump off here?
Yeah.
Plug anything that you do, because I know when we let you go, we got to do some cleanup things, or Peyton Vince will get mad at me. So I got to do some ad reads. Nothing fun.
You call him by his full name.
Nothing fun. But I want to give you this time to plug your stuff. We'll have you back
free
on.
whatever.
You know, and you've been great. And so anything you want to say, floor is yours.
Man, it's been a blast being on with you guys. I looked at the time. I was like, wow, like an hour 14, man. But I just love sports conversation, man. I really do appreciate you. Shout out to, shout out to Will for having me on and everything, and getting to know you guys and everything. And so, and I'm just asking, so you guys do Guardians talk and Cavaliers talk too,
anything
right?
Cleveland we talk about. Anything.
Yes.
Okay, then. Okay, yeah, absolutely.
We'll even do Cleveland State talk. We can even do when the University of
Houston
Houston
Keith
does
loves
a
Cleveland
couple
State.
years ago.
Yes. No, absolutely.
Ball, basketball. You don't know what you're getting when you come on here.
No.
We don't know either. We just come on and we see what happens.
Yeah, but of course, I can be found on the Gauntlet, which is Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have a pick show on Wednesday, so tomorrow it's going to be at 6? Yeah, at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 p.m. It's going to be our pick shows for Wild Card Weekend. So if you can tune in, it's going to be on Sideline Sports Network. It's going to be on Philly Jim's YouTube as well.
Okay.
Also, going to be on my YouTube and of course my Twitch. My Twitch is down there. Denzel Sniper 13 on Twitch. Also, you can follow me on X at NellyNail13. It's right down there. Nelly13, my Twitter handle, One in the Chamber. Also, you can find me on Facebook at Denzel Snipes. Also, check out and follow the South Florida Tribune. We do a show, The Pundits Pundit. We're gonna have a back-to-back show tomorrow night and Thursday night. We usually do, on Thursdays, but we're kind of catching up here. So we're doing tomorrow night and Thursday night. It's a magazine formatted show, just going around sports. Great conversation, pundit points. It's the talk that's deeper than the sport itself. It's deeper than the field, deeper than the court. Really great conversations. So tune in and listen. Shout out to Peyton for having me on. CJ, Ed, Keith, thanks. Y'all take care of yourselves, man. And hopefully I'll
do
come
the
back
same.
Yeah, and if you ever need anybody on your shows or whatever, we love to reciprocate the love here. So
if in the playoffs it comes down to Browns Ravens, I got the perfect dude for you. He's on the Gauntlet with me, and he's a Ravens fan. Shout out to JJ.
Okay.
He's a Ravens fan. So if it comes down to Browns Ravens in the postseason, I'll hit him up.
All right, sounds good, my guy. Hey, appreciate you. Good luck. Good luck to your Houston Texans. Not too good of luck because obviously we want the Browns to win, but good luck and continued success throughout the coming years. And good luck to you, my guy.
Thank you for having me on. Good
All
luck
right.
to Cleveland. Of course, not too much luck, but Houston and Cleveland always puts on the show. So let's just put on the show.
Let's do it.
Yes.
All right. Take it easy. Have a good one, my guy.
Take care.
All right. Have a good one.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. What a great dude. What a great dude. And but we got to clean up some things real quick before CJ starts yelling at me.
I'm not. What do you mean clean up? Do the ad for Manscaped.
Yeah, we got to do the ads. Okay, everybody, you want an energy drink that you can mix at home that doesn't give you the jitters
Yes.
or make you crash? If so, then try Dovey. Their products have no calories, no sugar, no maltodextrin. I don't know what the hell that is, but they don't have it.
Maltodextrin, it doesn't help you get you can't get boners if you have it. So you got to drink.
Fair enough. I want to stay in charge here. They have no fillers, no artificial colors. W has great flavors such as
we're doing the ad. If we want to put our own little, spice on it.
Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach,
Sludge,
Dub Sludge.
Dub Sludge.
Head on over to w.gg. Use the coupon code We Like Sportz to get 10%.
Whenever you do the ad read for Dub, you ever watch Futurama? They drink that slurge, and it's like the snail juice or whatever. That's what I think of when you do Dub Sludge.
All right, now Uncle Joe the Black Bookie's going to get mad if I don't read this, so we got to read
locked in.
Don't forget to check out the Snooze You Lose podcast with Uncle Joe the Black Bookie. He will get you set with his Sunday Snooze You Lose Pick of the Week. So you want to check that out. And also, guys, we have to plug ourselves at We Like Sportz, the website, WeLikeSportsPC.com, because you want more articles from
Joe America.
Joe America.
Over, and he's back out there.
America.
He got his way too early predictions for next college football season. You got Probably some other stuff. I don't know. Lots of people be writing articles.
Yes. Well, we want to do that, but also, guys, we have something new that and Peyton will be very happy that I'm mentioning this because I even made a banner for it. Guys, follow the We Like Sportz show on YouTube because when we get to 500 subscribers, we will give away a free jersey, and not the cheap ones from China. From China, I have a Brandon Whedon jersey from China, and guess what? The orange is now yellow. Okay, so we will give away a good jersey, a one probably the variety that you'll want to wear, and one like that I got for Casey when Miles Straw hit that home run. So check us out on YouTube. We Like Sportz show. Subscribe, hit like, subscribe, do all that crazy stuff that everybody says.
Do it all.
Do it all. Just do it all. Just do it all.
Do it all. Like, subscribe, message us. What do you want to hear on the show? What do you want me to wear next week? I don't know. You name it. I'm there.
Hey now, but so check us out there. So I think that's done with the housekeeping, and we got a couple minutes left here. So CJ, Keith, what do you like? What's his face? Cody Rhodes would say, "What do you guys want to talk about?"
Oh, little ball humbugs.
Did Cleveland State win yesterday, Keith? We were talking. Did they win?
Yeah.
Yes, they won in overtime.
2 in a row.
The Norsemen, or who they play? The Norsemen or something?
Yes.
They played,
yes.
the Norsemen.
Okay.
Yes, they won in overtime. Jason Woolridge hit a 3-pointer late and propelled them ahead. And then the guy Warwick from Northern Kentucky shot got blocked at the end because he had hit a 3-pointer to tie the game to send it into overtime.
Okay.
Matter of fact, he had hit a shot to beat Cleveland State last year in regulation during the regular season. So he's been a thorn in the Vikings side.
Yeah. And Keith would know because Keith knows. Cleveland State historian right here.
Oh, I'll be on it. I've been following since I was 8. So
a lot of guys whose name I don't know.
CJ, how would you rate my performance tonight? Let's
10. You're always a 10.
Okay,
You're 10.
That makes me feel better.
On a scale to 100.
Fair enough. I got to clip something, and we'll clip that one. How'd you like our guest? I thought our guest was great. You know what? I love talking to people from other cities, especially ones that have major sports. Because it's one thing to talk about somebody from like a city, but whether it be the Astros, whether it be the Rock, it's not just Houston. It's all three other have something to do with Cleveland. And
nice to get that insight from other people that are firsthand. At times we talk too much Browns, Guardians, and Cavs, but it's what we do. We watch Browns, Guardians, and Cavs.
Yeah.
So it's nice to hear about kind of like what Houston's building, the new culture and everything there, and you see it from afar, but to hear the perspective is always nice. I like that.
CJ,
it doesn't matter. We're gonna fucking kick the shit out of them on Saturday, though.
I'm gonna ask you this question. I know, Keith. I know your answer, Keith, because you're a little bit more refrained and more level-headed. But I think I'm more like CJ. I'm a spaz. I get that. But CJ, and I'm gonna ask you this question, and I want don't even hesitate.
All right, never think.
Is CJ Stroud better than Deshaun Watson?
Yes.
I agree. I think he's better.
I just think it's especially for me, when I think better, I always put contracts in my head because it's what you allowed to build around. And to me, the NFL cap's not real, right? You're gonna be able to kick the can down the road on the money forever, and But I always say, right? Do I do the Watson trade 10 times out of 10?
Yeah, me too. I would agree.
But
yes.
what if I'm and I know if we're having this conversation and we're kind of morons,
right?
That Andrew Berry and people around him are having the same conversation of can we try to get out of this? I 100% think that's going on behind the scenes. Does it mean you do it? No, right? Unless the right deal comes along. But I just think that if I could go back, like I said a couple weeks ago, and undo it, I probably would undo this contract, right? Because he hasn't been the Deshaun Watson I thought I was getting. It would be if we traded for Donovan Mitchell and Donovan Mitchell was averaging 15 a game. He'd be man, what the fuck did we do?
Right.
So I now is Flacco the answer to me?
No, not long. No.
He's 38. I keep hearing people talk about I'll give him a 2-year deal. No, I know what Joe Flacco is.
Check out people.
Much rather have Deshaun.
Check out people. Give me the gas face when I say Deshaun going to be the quarterback next year.
I think 100%.
What you mean? You going to tell me Deshaun is going to be the quarterback? What the hell you think? I was like, Joe is Mr. Here and Now.
Yeah.
Here and
There's
now.
one guy I think when
Good
you look
song,
at like
Here and Now.
I don't want to say like realistic
And you struck a match by him playing the way he's played. You struck a match. He's played himself really. If he wants to play again next year, he struck himself into some premium backup quarterback money. Yeah.
Well, I've looked around and I've been looking at some of these. Like I think Baker Mayfield.
Look at her.
TJ's here. Let me talk about. I don't even think. I don't know. I think he's a little acoustic. That child.
Oh, I'm special ed though. I'm special ed.
I just think that like there's no upgrade, right? I think that like when you look at teams, I think two teams are kind of in like quarterback market that are like high level teams, and if you put a good quarterback in there, they become like Super Bowl. And it's Atlanta and Minnesota, right? Just because Kirk's a free agent. Like if I could get Kirk and like somehow like somebody took the Watson money, I get Kirk Cousins. Yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah.
I'd get Kirk Cousins if I could find somebody to take the Watson. But like that's about it for me. I'm not running it with a rookie because I'm not hedging my bets on a rookie quarterback.
But let me ask you this. Can I ask you this? With the Kirk Cousins, he's also coming off injury too with an Achilles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's and you know what I mean? That would be but like for me, like in my head, like since I still think of like goofy irrational fan, like Kirk Cousins the last 2 years, he's played at such he's almost been like a borderline MVP candidate. Like that's the guy I want. But then it's like, yeah, what version of Kirk Cousins are you gonna get? Right. I do think Watson's the quarterback next year. I think it's 100%, no doubt.
I think what would make Browns fans happy is him coming in. He doesn't have to light the world on fire. His first couple games, they get wins. He throws for 250 to 300 yards, no turnovers, and just play within the Stefanski system. You don't have to be great. The system, look, he made Baker Mayfield look okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I think
Baker Mayfield's gonna go get a bag this offseason. Someone's gonna.
Will it be Tampa? Do you think it'll be Tampa or somewhere else?
I think it could be Atlanta.
You think
I think it could be Atlanta. I think Tampa should overpay for him.
I think so too. I think that's the best fit.
What else are you gonna do? But like somebody, I think he's got a shot to get like Derek Carr money.
Yeah, I mean, he looked.
Like, what's the difference? What's the difference between Baker Mayfield and Derek Carr to me? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, I'm good.
Baker could end up in the AFC North with Pittsburgh.
Yikes! I hope he does. I hope he does. Please, you know, I think
to me, you know who I know Peyton talked about them kind of backtracking off. I think Russ to Pittsburgh makes so much sense.
I do too.
Yeah.
If he gets caught, I think Russ to Pittsburgh makes so much.
And that'd be tough because he gives Cleveland fits every time.
Yeah. Well, and he's a guy to me that like some guys like just look. I said it about Soto when the Yankees got Soto. I was like, he just looks right. To me, like Russ in black and gold would just look right. Like in a Steelers uniform, I feel like that would like he's looked goofy in the Denver shit. Like,
does Sierra still look hot, black and yellow?
Oh, she looks hot no matter what.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah,
she does.
I think Denver's an interesting team for a quarterback too, in terms of what are they?
Yeah,
these like these middle of the road teams, and like the more that guys have came back to college this season, I like the top three, and then I think it's just a bunch of guys that are going to get GM's fired. I think Bo Nix and Michael Penix, and if JJ McCarthy goes, if Quinn Ewers goes in the first round, like he's going to get a GM fired.
Yeah, you get.
I think there's 3 high level quarterbacks. There's a bunch of quarterbacks that are kind of okay, and I'm not. If I'm Denver's not, you know, Sean Payton's not.
I think Penix in Miami would work because he's got a.
I think Penix fucking sucks after watching that game yesterday. He just looks so sloppy.
He missed not by
much. Everything's off the back foot. I've never seen a guy that's supposed to be a high level quarterback miss so many throws.
He's never had that much pressure before. Like
I was about to say that. I was gonna say, them Michigan dudes was in his grill.
Chicago was picking at 10. I 100% stay with Justin Fields.
Yeah, okay,
100%. But it's them being at 1 and having the choice. All right, I'm gonna get Caleb on a rookie deal.
Yeah.
What's the drop off between Caleb Fields and Caleb Williams and Justin Fields right now?
You really can't lose. You can't be no worse.
They went 2-2 with the dude from
Badgett or whatever his name was.
The fucking D2 quarterback. Yeah. They went 2-2 with him as a rookie. Like, so I just think that like it depends on where you're gonna be. And I think that having these teams kind of in the middle create this like opportunity of like, all right, what are some of these quarterbacks going to get paid?
I agree.
Well, let me ask y'all a quick question.
Yep.
Watching the Michigan win over Washington, what did they tell you?
It told me that West Coast football is still soft.
Yeah.
That's what it told me. It told me that West Coast football, and I love me some Pac-12 after dark, but it told me, like, damn, I'm for sure going to want to tune in if Washington's got to go to Iowa in November because they're kind of soft.
Yes. Yes.
Because J.J. McCarthy didn't win that game. He went like somebody. I think he did like 116. I just, West Coast, and it felt like the whole game. Washington,
the lines won it for Michigan, the O line and the D line.
I was just about to say it. That was the MVP for Michigan.
It felt
for
like
real.
Washington was a play away, like all game, even down 17-3.
Remember when Oregon played Auburn in the title game, and it was like it seems like these Pac-12 teams or these West Coast teams or whatever you say, they got the skilled players. They just don't have the beef that you need to beat the Alabama, SEC, or the Big Ten teams.
Well,
you remember who said that coming into his first year in the Pac-12? Prime. Coach Prime said that. Yeah. He said, we got the skilled players, but
you don't got the lines.
We ain't got the lines.
Where's the beef? Like that old Wendy's commercial.
My oldest brother, he always talks about it with college linebackers, especially those ones on the West Coast that have to play in these like wide open systems. These guys are smaller than ever. So, you're talking linebackers that are 215 pounds playing on the inside. And that guard for Michigan's going to he's going to run through them every time.
Yeah.
They're just too small. They're just soft.
And you got to think, Michigan's defensive line had their way with Washington's offensive line.
Yeah, they did.
Part of it is like
could barely walk after that game.
Like, we're going to talk about, I'm sure we're going to talk about Miami losing to the Chiefs probably. If Miami loses to the Chiefs, and we watch that game, it's going to be cold, man. Miami's just going to look goofy, too, because they look candy ass. Talking about airing it out in like sub-zero temperatures with that kind of wind.
A frozen dolphin is like tuna.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna just look goofy.
Yeah. Well, but I can't wait to talk about. But yes, we will be back next Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, because
special edition
MLK Day. We love it, and we'll be back at 5:30 then. So I'm gonna go around the horn. Is there anything? Final words, last shout outs. Free whatever, CJ is mine.
Free whatever. Put it in the for me, I think I've been saying it the last couple of weeks. I think Jared Allen is it's just so much more valuable than Evan Mobley. And I think you see, lately I've been seeing it. I went to the game. I'm trying to think they played the Wizards. They kicked the shit out of the dude quietly. Like, he didn't play in the fourth quarter. It was one of those things. It's like, holy shit, he's got 20 and 19. Just the quietest 20 and 19. Like, he is so underappreciated. I think he's a little soft. I'd like to see him be a little more tougher and have a mean streak to him. But I just think that, he's so much better than Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, he's never going to be Jared
Allen. Thank you.
That's my Keith. Free whatever.
Free whatever, Keith. What do you got?
Check out the Locked On Sports 216 power rankings, but it'll be a twist to it this week. And their fourth, I'm not going to tell you, but it will be a twist.
That's a tease. That's called a tease.
Yes. Good thing I got that cock ring on that I was talking about. Oh, and shout out to two people. One, Jameis Winston. Fuck that shit, bro. He's like, I love what he said too. It's 41. What's another 7 points? Shout out to Jameis Winston for just owning it and being like, yeah, I get it. If Joe Flacco doesn't come back, bring Jameson as the Browns back up next year.
Love it. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
And the second one, the dudes that went out and got their incentives last weekend, shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
D-Hop needed 7 catches.
Got his incentives.
Shout out to those guys, man. Get your money.
Get your bag.
I saw somebody put up
Jones from Kansas City got his incentive.
Somebody was like, if I was an owner, I would put it in my an incentive in my quarterback's clause to make sure he gets nobody their incentive.
Right. So I'm only gonna pay one, not everybody else.
Shout out to those guys getting their incentives.
Bah humbug to that. Keith, anything else you got? Anything else you want to plug?
And Locked On Sports will be on Locked On Sports 216 will be on Thursday and Saturday. Special Cleveland Browns NFL playoff pregame show will be at 3:00 on Saturday.
3:00. Okay.
Me and Ed
We love it. We love it.
I'm tuning in.
I've really, I've really come to enjoy my time with Keith on Locked On Sports 216, the Browns editions, and so we need to keep this run going, this magical run, because 5 more. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it going. So, my free whatever is. I don't have much. Just tune in MLK Day next Monday, 5:30. Thanks for tuning in today. We like sports, but we also like you enjoying sports with us. So glad that you could tune in and everything. And I got nothing else to say. So I do got one thing to say. I should say, go Browns! And peace out, and we will talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.